We have numbers like 1000 minus 478, 800 minus 467, 750 minus 345, 950 minus 250. How do you subtract these numbers in your head without borrowing, without using calculator? Welcome to Quick Math Tricks. In today's video, we'll be looking at how to subtract big numbers in your head. Now, let's look at how to get this done. Starting from the first one, 1000 minus 478. Now, what to do in this type of situation? When numbers are round figures, just use round and adjust trick. And that means when you have 478, you realize that this number is very close to 500. So how do you rewrite 478 to make the calculation easier for us? You realize that minus 478 is equivalent to minus 500 plus 22, because if you add 22 to 478, it will give you 500. So minus 478 is still the same as minus 500 plus 22. So instead of saying 1000 minus 478, you can replace that minus 478 with minus 500 plus 22. So instead of saying 1000 minus 478, you can replace that minus 478 with minus 500 plus 22. So you have 1000 minus 500 plus 22. Now you will see that it's easier to subtract 500 from 1000 in your head. So when you say 1000 minus 500, it will give you 500 plus 22. That will give you 522. This is how to subtract this type of number in your head within seconds. Now if you compare this with the conventional method, in the conventional method, you have to write it out like this: 1000 minus 478. Now you start the subtraction from the right to the left. And that you will begin by saying 0 minus 8. You know it's not possible. So you try to borrow the nearest possible number to that 0 to make it 10. But the next one is still 0. Then the next one is also 0. Then the next one is 10. So it's just for you to borrow 1 from the 10. When you borrow 1 from the 10 to the next 0, it becomes 10. Then you still borrow 1 from this 10 to the first 0 by the right. And that will give you 10. So you will say 10 minus 8. And that will give you 2. Now, the next number to the left, you'll be left with 9 there because you had borrowed 1 from the 10th there. So 9 minus 7, that will give you 2. Then you'll be left with 9 again because you borrowed 1 from the 10 initially. So 9 minus 4, that will give you 5. This is correct, but it's the conventional way and it is not easy to do it mentally. Let's look at the second example. 800 minus 467. Just like we did previously, 467 is close to 500. So rewrite it as minus 467 is equivalent to minus 500 plus 33. So replace it. Replace the minus 467 with minus 500 plus 33. So you say 800 minus 500 plus 33. And 800 minus 500 will give you 300 plus 33. And that will give you 333. This is how to do this very fast in your head. Let's move to the next example. 750 minus 345. If you look at this number critically, you realize that minus 345 is very close to minus 350. So instead of saying minus 345, you can replace it with minus 350 plus 5. Because if you add 5 to 345, it will give you 350. So you just replace minus 345 with minus 350 plus 5, which is the same thing. 750 minus 350, you know that will give you 400, then plus 5, and then you have 405. You can see how faster it is to do. Now, when you compare this with the conventional method, how do you subtract 345 from 750? You have to arrange it like this. And then you start by saying 0 minus 5, starting from your right to your left. And you know you cannot remove 5 from 0. So you borrow from the 5 that is next to that 0. So when you borrow to this 0, it will become 10. So you say 10 minus 5, and that will give you 5. Now you are left with 4 in the second number. Now you are left with 4 in the next number because you had borrowed 1 from it earlier. So 4 minus 4, that will give you 0. Then 7 minus 3, that will give you 4, which is the same thing with the one we did faster earlier. So it is better to use the first method. Let's look at the last example. 950 minus 250. How do you subtract 250 from 950 in your head within seconds? Now, if you add 50 to 950, that will give you 1000. Then if you add 50 to 250, that will give you 300. So add 50 to both of them. Now you have 1000 minus 300, and 1000 minus 300, you know it is 700. So this is a faster way to subtract this type of numbers. Thank you for watching this video. Please, if you benefit from this video, ensure you like the video, share, comment, and subscribe. See you in our next video on quick math tricks.